Welcome to the Driving the World podcast series. I'm your host, Cully Holland. Today we have Jess Galloway, our manufacturing quality manager, and we'll be talking about our manufacturing facilities here in Lyman, South Carolina. Hey, Jess, how are you doing today?
I can't complain. How are things in the engineering side of the house and training side?
Doing quite well, actually. It's a sunny day, so it's a good day, and I can't thank you enough for being on today. We're going to speak a little bit about our manufacturing facility here in Lyman, South Carolina. So some of our customers may not know that we actually manufacture some of our housings and gearing here. So that's what we're going to chat about. And we can just start off with what exactly we manufacture and kind of where it goes.
Okay. So we do the K series, the 7 series of the K box up through 107, inch shafts and gear sets all the way up through the 187s. We supply the world with those components. We also do the K39, K49 families of housings and the hypoid gears that run those. We do servo gearings 202 through 802. We do specialty gearing for Chinese market, a special design for them. And then about 2.5 years ago, I think it was, Germany called on us with a design change for the 37 through 67 S series gear sets. They wanted to change from face hobbing and lapping and testing to face milling and grinding so that they could sell those as separate types of gears. Instead of being mated together for life, they could be mixed and matched wherever in the world. Plus, the advantage that gave them was we gained about a 6 to 15% increase in torque capability without having to do any kind of redesign in the gear. It's just a different process. So it increased the surface hardness and smoothness. It gave a better rolling pattern on the gears, and it allowed us then to roll out to the world an improved gearbox without their having to change their footprint or ordering patterns or whatever else. Now, what's funny about that is they told us on the 1st of April, 2021, oh, these will be launched in November. It'll give you time to build your buffer. By the end of May, customers had exhausted the 57B series, and we had to start going into steady state production that much more quickly. We were running 2 grinders at the time. Is that correct? We expanded to 4 grinders, which are to be 2 grinding cells. We are now at 3 grinding cells to keep demand up, and we are already ordering another cell. So we've got just a lot of growth opportunities over the last several years. And coming out of the pandemic with all of this change and so forth, we've still maintained the ability to ship and actually have increased our volumes of shipping. The plant was designed back in the early 80s to run 70,000 units a year. This year, we're going to run close to 700,000 units in a plant that was spaced to run 500,000 units as we grew. So we've been working a lot of long hours, trying to meet customer demand, and owners have laid in front of us a challenge, get it ready for 1 million. So that's what we're doing.
Wow. So when you say the world, I'm assuming that means we deliver globally to all of our customers, the K series that you spoke about, as well as the gearing.
Yep.
And going from what you said, 70,000 to 700 is quite the jump, even over a couple decades. I mean, That's a vast improvement. And when we're expanding to 1 million, is that going to be in the same footprint, or are we actually expanding our footprint size and our capabilities?
So we're going to have to expand the manufacturing plant. Of course, we took over the assembly plant late last year, October-ish timeframe. And this plant will serve as a logistics center primarily because it was never designed to support heavy manufacturing. There will be some machine setups over here, but they will be for lighter work. And we'll continue to expand on the backside of the manufacturing hall, yet another hall out from where we are right now. We'll be bringing in new technologies to improve throughput, particularly, as I mentioned, on the S series, the face milled parts, a different kind of hardening technique and technology. We'll be expanding the lab capabilities and bringing them back directly into the middle of the gearing area so that we're directly supporting the gear personnel. So the grinding operations and turning operations and everything will be supported back in the new wing. And then we'll have some operations in this plant as well, shipping and receiving, logistics, things of that nature. And yes, we ship to the world. Roughly 80% of what we produce in Lyman manufacturing is exported to the rest of the world, and the other is domestic. Germany, obviously, Graben-Neudorf is our best customer, our largest customer. China as a whole is the second largest base that we have in the world right now. The Asia-Pacific realm is growing leaps and bounds, and we keep joking every time we look at the production figures, like, where are all these housings going? Who's building them? But then we look at the applications that we're involved in, And you think, okay, so we're involved in logistics operations. So every time they update an airport, every time they update a material handling warehouse, every time UPS or Amazon or somebody builds a distribution center, we're in it. Every time they build a port, the K87 drive is one of the more popular drives for the tractors that drive trains down at ports. And they actually have a custom design through the assembly side that they do for the customer. I can't remember the customer's name, but that people who look at those cranes should really look at the gearing underneath. We're in the entertainment industry. We make people fly through the air. We make auditoriums open up. We make roller coasters roll. I mean, we do it all. We're in the food industry. We're in the beverage industry. We're in the pharmaceutical industry. There's not a place in the world where something moves that SEW isn't behind it making it move. And
I mean, sounds like you say we're driving the world,
we are
right?
driving the world.
And you touched on the labs in our manufacturing facilities. So you've already mentioned that we are constantly updating and finding improved ways to manufacture. We're always making sure that we're on the cutting edge, pardon the pun, and we're just trying to put out the best product. And I'm sure some of that comes with quality checks and quality procedures. Is there anything that we can discuss about that, or is it kind of just run of the mill?
It's not run of the mill by any stretch of the imagination. Customers who come in here very often, especially other industrial customers who come in, look around our plant and they go, oh my goodness, you've got one of the most automated plants we've ever seen. And truly, Lyman Manufacturing is one of the more automated, robotically driven plants in the Southeast. And we've got a lot of technology doing that. We discovered back, our first installation was 1999, I think, for a robot cell.
Wow.
Had an old ABB robot in it, single operator. And we discovered that you can take a robot and make it do tasks that humans can't repeatedly or repetitively do without injuring themselves. So our philosophy behind automation is a lot different from that of other companies. Ours is to take the heavy lifting and the hard work and give that to a machine so that our operators can become more skillful with handling things such as quality checks on the fly. But we also discovered when we started automating that it just made sense to automate the metrology as well. So if you walk through the plant, you'll see every automated cell out there in turning, housing, and hard turning and finishing all have automated cells with automated gauging running in.
Wow.
And as we expand, as we update, we only have a couple of manual centers left in the housing side. And as we upgrade those, they will also have automated metrology. And then we support the metrology needs in the lab itself with very large frame CMMs. We've standardized on one particular manufacturer, a German manufacturer, and we found that that really improves the capacity to run high volumes of parts, but maintain the quality at the same level part per part. So there's a measure of repeatability about what we do, but there's also the fallback to know that should something go wrong on the floor, we have two labs that are fully functional. We can bring those parts in and cross-check just to make sure that the results we're getting on the floor match what we get in the lab.
Fantastic. And forgive me for not knowing, but what is a CMM?
Coordinate measuring machine. So it's basically a large-scale Cartesian coordinate plane device.
Okay.
It measures along multiple axes, and it allows you to coordinate to a specific datum or a pair of data points on a print or on a part. So you can go from theory to reality and see how close you're holding to your tolerances.
That sounds like exactly what you need for quality assurance. So that is fantastic. And we supply to the world. We're manufacturing in the U.S. Where does the base material, the core product, come from? I mean, are we getting that from anywhere and everywhere, or is there also like some quality assurances coming from that?
So we sourced all of our suppliers except for one part from the United States. So it's American steel, American iron, and American stainless steel. We do have an investment casting program for the, it's a stainless steel product, there's a word for it, aseptic products. And we source those all here in the States, as I said, except for one part. So whatever we send from this plant, with that one exception, it's made in the USA and exported to the world.
That is amazing. And I'm sure not too many people can say that about one of their lines of products. So that is great. So we've talked about an expansion. We've talked about the technology and robotic used in our manufacturing and just how much we want to assure our quality. Did we miss anything you want to speak on about manufacturing, or does that give us a pretty good 10,000-foot view?
Well, I mean, it covers over. I wanted to mention earlier, and I didn't get a chance to, but we've run the plant on a singular philosophy from day one, and that is safety, then quality, then productivity. One of the things we're proud of is that we have very little injury in that plant. With all the robots, with all the movement, with everything else going on, it's an exceptionally safe workplace for people to come into. And it's a clean workplace because our parts can't be exposed to humidity. Finished surfaces can't. So it's a climate controlled environment for people to work in. and it's clean. Everybody who comes in here walks through and says, "This is a machining center? What are you doing? It's clean." We keep it clean. It's just a philosophy. You work better in a clean environment, so you make better parts in a clean environment. And people are happier in a clean environment.
I can attest to that. On my first tour through this facility, I walked through, and I had been on some tours of other manufacturing and assembly halls, and they were nowhere near the condition that ours were. Ours was very clean, and it was definitely something I remembered from my first tour.
Yeah.
But I definitely thank you so much for coming on. Hope to see you again soon, and
Thanks.
hope you have a great day.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Bye.